dude to make his own beats, writes his own rhymes, records his own shit. Probably why it takes so much time to put out an album. Man, I'm always behind schedule. Ain't that I ain't hungry, I just always got my plate full. Try to digest all the topics that I'm spitting. You need to sit back and actually take the time to listen. We living in a new age where mind states are feeble. Kids' attention spans are shorter than Danny DeVito. My beat stole, be banging, be about my business. Bass stays knocking like a Jehovah Witness. Leave them scattering when chattering. The gang of rhyme patterns. I ain't worth challenging. You all need some aspirin. Aspiring to be me, no empires to feed. Just a chosen few that's flowing through. Firing up the weed. Jesus, crazy what the world coming to. I'm here to live it, make music. For y'all is just hanging on a gimmick, huh? Wait a minute, man. Don't get me confused with none of these newbie-ass rappers, man. I know the game be feeling fucked up, but I've been making beats since 95, regardless if I had the right promotion or not. Word up. Hey, yo, I ain't always humble. I ain't always intense. I've had my good and bad days like anyone else, more or less. Probably a lot more than less, sort of more of it in a sense. Feel blessed, so I just move forward through the stress. But don't smoke stress. Smoke the bombest weed you ever seen. Cannabis club category, certified Cali green. Type of bomb that I keep up in my sack. They give a lot of cats anxiety attacks. There's no denying the facts. But enough about the weed, though. I keep it on a need-to-know basis. It's time for me to cut to the chase quick. So download this free LP. Spread it to your friends and family. Even to the little haters mad at me. I got 2 official LPs coming after these. So far I'm grateful for the love that's coming back to me. Truly appreciate the support, especially my peeps that had my back when I was going in and out of court. But of course a shout out to all my people who kept the game alive instead of killing it, selling out with weak flows. My crew, anyone that gave an honest point of view. Much respect besides me, man. I do this shit for you, yeah, for you.
I think most boys like to play games. In fact, adults like to play games also. In this game, it's very important to listen to all the instructions. And we're going to combine your things in this game.
Ha. So suspect. Now as my rhyme surpasses, see visions are overpasses. Some choose to overlook it. They should be looking past it. We hope for classics. We over you whack bastards. Soul suspects, man, we fall from the average. People try to act like they shit don't stink. They'll be up shit's creek, plus they ship's gon' sink. Now they knee deep in bullshit with nothing to think. On the brink of dealing with the most unpleasant of things. Time switch up, find ways to humble your strut. Just when you was thinking you was the next runner up. Shit out of luck, yo, it's just the way it goes. I ain't gotta stress the rest, all you already know. From a distance, street lights.
Hello, folks. We're going. Welcome. It's Saturday. Happy Saturday, guys. So this is Wartime Optimism number 21, which means this is the end of the 3rd week of these live streams, which is kind of crazy. It does not feel like 3 weeks have gone by. Let's see. I think I'm set up here. We got the microphone going, video's going. I got music queued up. Today we're going to look at the paintover I did yesterday, and we're going to fix it. One of the things that you guys have probably heard me say pretty frequently is, don't be lazy. Or if not saying that exactly, like the idea of if you're going to be efficient, make sure you're handling the big issues first, right? And yesterday, in the second paintover, what did I do? I started by saying, I think we should move the car, but I'm kind of, hungover and tired, and I don't feel like doing that. And that was a huge, huge mistake. And I couldn't let that sit. So I continued painting afterwards. So today we're going to look at what I did afterwards. We have a time lapse recorded, which is cool. It's only about 20 minutes long. And we're going to, fix our mistakes because that's how we improve, right? So let's take a look at this. Let's see here. We got to go to the Cintiq. There she is. So this is the image that Nadish sent in for us to paint over yesterday. Nadish, I hope you're listening. And thank you again for sending this over. So this was his image. The paint over that I did for it, you can see all this. This was the paint over that I did yesterday. And so I kind of cropped it down a little bit and kind of adjust some lighting and pulled these silhouettes out. And I don't think it was not great, but the car is still, I think, in the wrong place. There's a few things in the wrong place. And so last night, whilst having a virtual happy hour with my good friends from Wisconsin, big shout out to Wisconsin, and all those folks, I drew for like 40 more minutes. And even for those 40 minutes, I didn't draw the entire time. And I came up with this, which obviously, because we're moving 3D stuff, got a lot rougher. But from a compositional standpoint, I think that this image starts to work a whole lot better. My painting didn't move anything, just kind of adjusted some values and colors. This one moves things so that now we're still cropping in compared to the original image, which is here. But the car, are starting to get like a more clear triangle, kind of with the car still being the brightest element on the screen. These two figures are kind of pulled out into more of a story, and we still have a bit of this kind of homeless guy here. And so we have, I feel like, what is a much stronger composition. We probably could have pushed it even further, but I quite like how this one came out. And the moral of the story is that if you're only going to fix one thing, you should be fixing the one most obvious thing for everything you're doing, whether that's post or 3D or anything like that. And so this is the paint over I should have done yesterday, but I was being lazy and I didn't feel like painting. And I don't have a ton of confidence when it comes to like painting over in color. I don't do it very often. And so that probably fed into the decision. Just a bunch of things I think kind of all conspired. I'm saying, I'll just see if I can fix it just by doing the stuff that I'm very comfortable doing, which is adjusting things with curves and all that kind of stuff that you guys saw yesterday. And that was in the wrong headspace, in the wrong attitude. So I very much appreciate you guys basically being there, hanging out every day. I do very, very much appreciate it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. And I feel like it's pushing me to do cooler, better things and not be lazy, which is important. So I'm pretty happy with how this came out. Again, Nadish, thank you so much for sending me this. And then we have a video that kind of, it took, I think the video when it was raw was like 45 minutes long or something like that. And you're going to see when even, this is sped up by like 200%, so it's only 20 minutes. You're going to see that there's like sections in this where like I'm not doing anything because I was having a happy hour with buddies. So 45 minutes of work, maybe a total of actual like 30 minutes of additional painting got us to a place that I feel like I feel good saying, here's what I would do with this image if I was making it, right? And we would go back to 3D and kind of move some geometry around, adjust the camera and the crop a little bit, re-render it, and re-Photoshop. It would be like my workflow. Nadish, you're very welcome, man. I hope that that this is helpful. Let's see, what do we need? We need the Dell. Is this it? Yes. Okay. So let's switch screens to this guy, and we're gonna let this thing play. I don't think I'm happy to answer anything that I'm doing. It's pretty obvious, right? Like the big thing is I'm moving some stuff and then painting that so that it looks natural. And that's kind of all I'm doing this entire time. But yeah, you can see there's going to be a bunch of little pauses in here because, talking and painting at the same time. I'm not great at multitasking. But yeah, just trying to get kind of everything in a better place in 2D space within the image, right? And obviously all of these changes would have implications for what to do in 3D. Some of these things you could move just by changing and tweaking the camera. Other things you would actually have to probably move some geometry for. But they're relatively simple exercises. I have some really cool stuff coming up this week that I can't talk about yet, but I am going to be able to share with you guys. And there's a decent amount of like going back and forth on an image between 3D, kind of like not being sure where to go, going back to 2D, going back to 3D, and using that as like a loop to keep things moving forward. So I'm really excited to share that with you this week. I have a couple cool ideas of things to do this week. So I think it's going to be another good one, as long as we're all stuck inside. Daniel, what's going on, buddy? Glad to have you here. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good week, and I think we're going to have Patrick back on Thursday. There's a couple other people that have gotten in touch about being on the stream that I'm super duper excited about, and as soon as we kind of have a schedule and a plan figured out for that, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, otherwise we're just going to watch the painting. I'm going to enjoy a coffee because, like I said, I was on a couple happy hours last night. And yeah, I hope everyone's enjoying their Saturday thus far. where's everybody at? What are they up to? How are they feeling, 3 or 4 weeks into this? We're 3 weeks into the live stream, which means at least for like my family here, we're 4 weeks into the our quarantine. I started this in the second week. And we're still staying positive, but I know it's a trying time. So I'd love to hear how everybody's doing. If they're adapting well, if their significant others are doing well, let me know. Let me know how you guys are doing. I'd love to hear it. And if you have any questions about anything I'm doing here, I'm not doing anything fancy. And you can see I've kind of already put everything in the right place here. And from then, at this point, if I was working on this myself, I guess this is worth mentioning. If I was doing this for myself as a paintover, I would probably stop where it is like right now on the screen. And the reason for that is I can, see what it needs to change. Nothing else. I think I tweaked the car to look a little bit better here at some point in this. But everything else now is just me practicing painting in color, which is something I've been working on, as you all know. But as far as like the feedback goes, everything's kind of moved, and I think I might do a couple other little things in this. But this would be enough in my head to be like, oh, okay, these are the things I should have caught in 3D. Let me go fix them and keep moving forward. But I'm going to keep painting because this is a skill set that I'm working on. I'm actively trying to get better at doing this. So yeah, it was a fun experience. I really enjoy when I try and do something. When it doesn't work well, like I wasn't thrilled with how it came out yesterday during the live stream, and that's always a little frustrating, especially when I'm doing it live and people are watching. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I could have done better. I wish I had done better. But whenever those things happen, I do find that those are great moments if you can forget about the ego part of things where you're like, whatever, worried about how you are appearing to others. But if you can kind of like tune your mind to like every time that happens, it means there's something to be learned, right? There's an opportunity for growth. But you can't ignore it. Had I just said like, okay, yeah, I didn't do anything, well then I wouldn't have learned anything from that. This was, 40 minutes that I was like, let's just see what happens if I actually try and do the thing I know I should have done. And I'm happy with how it came out. And I'm also happy that I was able to do it, right? And it only took 40 minutes. It's not like I spent a ton of time on this, but it's like a big change of like, I should have just done this beginning. I should have the confidence to continue trying this. It turned out better than I thought it was going to. This image is not a good one for turning to black and white. Like the color of the car is a very important element in how like this composition works. And I'm very comfortable sketching in black and white, but this I didn't think was a good opportunity for that. So it was an opportunity to improve, what's not a great skill of mine that I want to be, which is painting in color. But hopefully, the message that comes across is you gotta try. You gotta work on it, right? If I just sat there and thought about how I could have done better, I wouldn't have improved at all. So I thought that this was a nice little moment. Yeah, Nadish, if you end up redoing any of this image and working on it anymore, I'd love to see how it comes out. That's another thing. I mean, all the way back in architecture school, we got a lot of, you'd have your final review, and the jury members would say, like, you could also do this, and one thing to do for your portfolio is you should work on your line drawings, or you should, make sure you have this render to tell this part of the story, or whatever else. And generally speaking, I never really did that. I never really went back to my project. Like once you got to final review, that was done moving forward. That again. Okay, now that's back to green. Maybe this will do something. Okay. Okay. I think we're back, folks. The internet gave up on us. What can you do? You win some, you lose some. If anyone is still there, and if they can confirm that they can hear me, that would be awesome. And otherwise, let's get this back going again. Let's put some music on. Yeah, sorry about that, dudes. I think we're back. Let's get back to what we were doing. Oh, we weren't there. What is this? Oh wait, wrong video. I don't know how it changed videos. Let's see here. Doo. And I think we were somewhere. I think we were somewhere around that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, my internet here is just not awesome, so I apologize. But this is working again, or kind of working again. So yeah, that wasn't fun. What can you do? The world we live in, right? Yeah, I think this is about where we were at. It's somewhere in this world. I'm not gonna. Let's see. Yeah, that's what we were doing. Okay, so we're back in it. Things seem to be working again. And yeah, I forget what I was saying. Something. Oh yeah, when you get criticism on your work or critiques or ideas, I think that it's important to actually try them. Just like thinking about them. Oh, I'll try that next time. They kind of disappear into the ether when that happens. And if you give them a try and they don't work, you'll probably learn something. And if they do work, you'll definitely learn something. But you have to sit down and actually work on it for it to work. So yeah, that would be my little bit of advice. That was the lesson that I've known for a while, and one of the lessons that I keep learning. We had the same problem back with the Bright Art Dark Times image that I did live, right? And it was almost the same thing. It was a piece of geometry that I should have changed in 3D and was being lazy. Don't be lazy. This is, I guess, the lesson. Do work, don't be lazy. Be efficient. That's the key. So yeah, so I think I just keep painting for a while. I don't think that there's anything else like of really note, but you can see I'm pulling out like the edges of silhouettes in the places where I want attention to go. I want that ambulance, at least like the shape of it, to be visual, or legible. And so painting it brighter in the background and darker in front of it makes that come out, even though like all the detail of it's been painted over. This is another one of those little gaps of me talking to who knows who. This one goes on. There we go. Let's speed up a little bit. Yeah, there's a lot of dead time in this. So like of that 40 minutes, so there's maybe only actually 20 minutes of painting. The scary things aren't as scary when you actually face them, I guess. What does Logan Nine Fingers say in The Blade itself? When a thing needs to be done, best to just get it over with rather than live in fear of it. Good advice from the wise man. Has anyone in the chat listened to, or not listened to, read Joe Abercrombie's Blade itself? One of my favorite books, that whole series. The First Law trilogy. For my money, it's the best fantasy out there. I like it much, much, much more than George R.R. Martin. Maybe not three muches, but I like it more than a Game of Thrones or a Song of Ice and Fire. Super cool stuff. Maybe I should do like some Joe Abercrombie inspired images. He has some cool settings that in his books, and they're like dark fantasy. Be cool. I think that would be fun. Okay, so let's see. What am I doing here? I don't know. The video is playing. You guys can't see it, but like I said, I was having a drink. I probably should have edited this a little bit better. I can skip forward until things happen again. Yeah, we'll just keep it going. Just keep things going. I can't tell if anybody's still there or if this is still working. Let's see here. What's going on with this? Let's see here. Oop, yep, it's working. Oh, and then there's just something going wrong with my chat window. That's the problem. Let's see. If I pop out the chat? Restore chat. Nope, nothing there. Yeah, I can't see the chat at the moment. I'm gonna get this figured out. Maybe. Let's see. Let's put this on. It's muted. Okay, now I can see it. Vlad, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Paolo, happy to have you guys here. Sarkot, Daniel. Good. I'm glad it's working. Kind of. I mean, it's not working. There's way too many devices involved with what's going on right now, especially considering that I'm just watching this like you guys. But I think this is kind of working now. Kind of, sort of, whatever. How's everybody doing? Is your internet performing normally? Mine's not. Such is life. Yeah, so we're just gonna keep watching. We got like 8 more minutes of painting to go. I'm rather liking the color stuff. I need to do more color. I've been practicing it in my daily practice in the mornings. And I feel like we're getting somewhere with it, which is nice to see a little bit of progress. Nadish, thank you. That's very, very kind of you. I appreciate that. Well, yeah, I think that, there's always room for improvement. And I think that I'm definitely like the worst or the harshest critic of my own work. And I think that that's probably a good thing. Resting on your laurels gets you nowhere. And so a healthy amount of distrust in your own abilities, I think keeps you trying to improve and improve and improve. And I think that that's, the key to getting better. Always. We got all kinds of things beeping. So let's see. What else is there to do here? I haven't figured out what I'm going to do tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow, I don't know what time we're going to be live for the daily live stream. And I thought about not doing one tomorrow just because I am going to be live with Jason, Fabio, and Thomas Dubois for the judging of his current contest, which is the Macintosh contest. And from my understanding, we have a lot of images to talk about, and so I'm guessing it's going to be a long one and probably not super organized again. But I think it's going to be fun. So definitely, I think that's going to start an hour before this usually starts. So 12 Eastern Standard Time in the U.S., which would be 1800 Central European Time. That'll be on Fabio's channel. I'm sure that you guys follow him. Hopefully you do. If not, go check that out. I think it'll be fun. We'll be talking about art. Images might get deleted again. It's going to be a really good time. I'll put something together. Whenever that's done, I'll come over and I'm going to do something. And I'm not sure what. It probably won't be a full one. Because I think the last judging that we did lasted something like 2 hours. And so I think maybe I'll take whatever practice I do tomorrow morning and just make a time lapse of that. And we can look at some of the practice I've been doing in the AM. Or maybe we'll talk about kind of my practice routine. That's what we're going to do. After the judging of Fabio's competition, we'll talk about my practice routine a little bit. And what I have found has worked really well for me and what I have found has not worked at all for me. And we'll watch a little time lapse while we chat about it, of kind of how I do things. Yeah, that's what we're going to do tomorrow. Do some judging, have a couple of cocktails, talk about practice. Yep, that's the plan. You can see I'm right now, this is the last kind of big change that I make, which is changing kind of the size of our guy on the corner there. And all I'm trying to do there is give everything enough space that it doesn't feel crowded. So that little change gives the ambulance a little bit more room. It gives him a little bit more room and a little bit more separation, a little more visual separation and literal separation between the three kind of graphic elements of this. And I think kind of like reframes it. He's kind of like the third read on this image. I feel like when you look at this image as it stands now, the first thing you notice is the car, right? It's bright, it's green, it's in the foreground. The next one, I personally go back to the ambulance, and I see that kind of like one silhouette poking through the light there. And then the third one that I kind of read is the dude on the right. And that kind of makes a nice little arc around the image for the eye to kind of loop around in. That kind of like line that's been in from the original image, the diagonal that comes down and meets the dude, along with the diagonals of the bridge, I think form like a nice kind of like compositional direction that's kind of keeping the eye moving all through this image. And those were all in the original. I didn't add them, obviously. So well done on that. But yeah, just kind of cheating the perspective so it doesn't look quite as awkward. Again, this doesn't really have any bearing on advice, but it, makes me happy. So yeah, I think we're just about, I'm not sure what else I do here. You can see me doing this. So this was while I was working, just flipping between the original one and the kind of painted one, and I find myself doing that a lot for these types of things, because the idea is like when you're looking at these straight for even like 20 minutes, 40 minutes, you get so used to looking at it. So flipping it back and forth, turning all of your changes off and on is a good way to see, does anything jump out at me as like having been a mistake? Because if you're used to looking at it, there's always a chance that you just missed that, right? Like you've gotten used to it. So I flip things off and on all the time. But I'm not really working in that many layers. Most of those layers are because I'm pasting and scaling things. I could merge them all. I don't think I use any curves or any hue saturation adjustments at all throughout this whole painting. Everything's just picking from the canvas, picking from the color picker. But yeah, and the more I start doing this, sorry, that's my dog. I think the missus is home. She's out for a run. I do find that like it's usually towards the end that I find myself flicking things back and forth more and more. And so we're almost done this guy. Almost done, just making sure I didn't miss anything major. Who's that? Oh yeah, that's the wife. And then just kind of like roughing some things up a bit. This was kind of experimental. I probably overdid it with this, but I kind of like how it came out. I just wish I did a little bit better. So there's another thing for me to practice. All right, and this I think just about wraps this thing up. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think. Oh, there's still another minute here. Let's see if I do anything cool. I don't know. I don't think so. Oh. Yeah, this was a fun one. Thank you again to Dish for sending this along. And to anyone listening, we're going to have paintovers again on Friday in my attempt to continue getting better at this. I hope you guys enjoy them. Would love to know what you guys' thoughts are, or if there's anything specific you'd like to see in these kind of like little critique paintover things. But if you have one, an image that you'd like me to paint over, whether it could be a sketch, it could be a 3D raw rendering, finished image, really anything. Shoot me, you can either DM me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever else through Droki, or you can just send it to mike@droki.com, and I'll get it there. I don't really use that email address, and so it's a good place for stream related stuff. So then that's the end of it. We just circled back over to the end. So that's where we ended on this. So that's all I got for you guys today. Kind of a short one, but I think a fun one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We will be back tomorrow. for the live competition. So please join in on that. Where did the chat go? There we go. Please join in for that. I think it's going to be really fun. It'll be on Fabio's channel. There's a lot of... I've already seen just kind of the entries for the Macintosh Challenge that popped up in my screen or in my feed, which is going to be really cool. And Fabio says that the number of entries and the quality is just outstanding. So I'm looking forward to sorting through them all and talking about them. I think it's going to be a fun day. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. That's I think all I got for you guys today. I hope everyone's having a great Saturday. I hope everyone's staying positive and staying productive somehow. I say a lot. I notice. Should work on that. There's another thing. Lots of things to work on. All right. But yeah, thank you guys so very, very much for tuning in and weathering the technical challenges today. The internet gods being unkind. This was a lot of fun for me, I know. So I hope you guys got something from it. And yeah, I think I will see you hopefully tomorrow. I'll be here or somewhere. So thank you guys so much. Be well. Make some cool work. If you want me to paint something over, shoot me an email, mike@droki.com. I love doing these. I hope that you guys get something from them. I find that I get something from them as well, so it's not entirely altruistic. There's definitely, I enjoy it and I learn more and more as I do these paintovers. So thank you guys. That's it for today, and we will see you again soon. Be well, guys. Happy rendering. Later. Boop.